We'll go live this way, and we'll click this button, and we'll click this button, and we'll click this button, and we'll click this button and this button, and we should be live, Joe. Hey, everybody.
Hello, hey everybody. What's going
How
on?
is everybody
Hello,
today?
YouTube. How's everybody doing today?
That's right.
Hope everybody's doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
I don't know if
Today we
anybody's
don't know what
doing
we're going to talk about
anything
at all. In
today.
fact, we didn't talk about what we're going to talk about.
We didn't.
I think I'm going to talk about um.
Yes.
Sorry, I got it. Something I had to answer. Sorry, I had 15 things going on. I was like, what? Oh yeah. Sorry, did I
My
stop
co-host is out to lunch. I don't know. He's just talking. Stops in the middle
I'm
of the
sorry,
sentence.
buddy.
Zoom. He's gone. Okay. No worries. It's going to be an
Gone,
interesting live
gone,
today.
buddy. It's going to be a fun one, I think. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to button my button.
Sorry, it was somebody telling
today.
me about something real important, but I was like, I'm on a show right now. I can't be talking.
Well, you know what?
Okay, let's see here.
They
I'm trying
think
to
you
look at.
can be talking. So it's all good. You know what? So today is the day that I don't even know. Like, I sincerely do not know what is going on today. And I say that with a lot of honesty. So for me, I can't speak for Joe. I've only seen him for 2 minutes before we went live. Hadn't talked to him all day. Don't have a clue how his day went yesterday. Don't have a clue how his day's gone today. But what I do know is that we had a commitment, and here we are. So, with that being said, you know, Joe.
We're not live.
Yeah, we are. We're live.
Mine says waiting for crypto. Let's talk.
I'm sorry.
Blake?
We're live. We're
All
live.
right.
I see us.
Anybody saying? Are
I
there people talking?
see us. I see us. I don't
Okay.
know. No, nobody said anything yet. But
I'm gonna try to say something. Hello.
when I click the link, waiting for crypto,
Yeah.
let's talk, it says. That's bizarre. So, okay.
Okay. Click on live now. We're live.
Huh?
All right, we're good.
I don't know, brother.
Okay. Click on live now. We're live.
It's all good. I think
Hey,
we're live.
go back in, click on my channel, and click on the one above that, and then we can see it, or I can see it anyways. Yeah, man, we got Renee here, Patty here,
Okay.
Renee here, Patty here, Renee here,
Patty here. Renee
I'm thinking
here.
they're all in Hawaii.
Patty here.
I'm starting to think. I'm thinking we got our broadcast set where it only goes to Hawaii.
Well, maybe so. It's all good.
Maybe. Yeah.
I can't even tell you. I don't
Hey,
even
Renee.
know.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Hey, Chris,
I think
did you
this.
get your Green X email yet?
Don't talk to me about emailing Green X. No, I have not. Have you? Hey, have you?
No, I have not. Have you? I haven't. I'm not getting one. I didn't get invited to the cool kids table.
I haven't gotten one. I was told that the first round went out and the second round was on its way. And in my mind, I thought that meant that one email had been sent out to the entire population, and then the second one was on its way to its entire population. And so I just assumed that I would be getting it, and I've been checking, and I hadn't got nothing. And then I thought, well, maybe it means the first round of machines that turned on. Maybe they got their email. So I started checking around, and I started talking to people, and everybody I asked said, well, you were the one that said it was coming out. And I said, yeah, I know, but did you get it? No, I didn't get it. I ain't got it either.
Hey, Chris, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, buddy, but I just got an urgent message about that.
Okay.
They said the fax machine broke.
What?
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So the fax
yeah.
machine broke, and
They
none of us
they didn't
got our
have enough
letter.
digital currency to send. Hey, I got a question. If you get an email, do you have to use digital currency to buy the stamps?
I don't know, but
Hey guys, I don't know what I'm talking about today. So I was joking about the fax machine though.
I can honestly say this.
I'm not so sure about the email.
I can honestly say this. I can speak to this truth, okay? That's all I can do is speak to the truths that I know. So the truths that I know, just in case, and I'll let everybody in a little bit of yesterday's stuff yet later. But what I do know is when I got home last night, and oh my Lord, he's done pulled out a hard hat. When I got home last night, I did open my
Oh,
email, and
that's a fireman's
I
hat.
filtered through, and I got
Fireman's
rid of
hat.
all the trash, and I looked, and when I looked, I saw an email, and it was from the Corps, and it was from Mike Boggs, and he said, "MailChimp broken," and I said, "Hmm," and so
Oh no.
he sent that to me, and he sent it to Stephen and Will and Brandon, and I thought to myself, well, that's interesting. How do you break MailChimp? I did not. I am being honest and completely transparent. I did not ask. Okay. That is out of my wheelhouse. It is over my pay grade. I said, well, I guess they'll let me know when it's fixed. So maybe, I'm just saying, not making excuses or anything, just talking truth. But maybe that's why we haven't gotten our email on the green. Now, so you would think, well, Chris, why haven't you contacted anybody today? Well, hell, today I've been playing catch up all day long. I've been in classes. I've been doing catch up work. I have been learning about peptides, and I've been learning about um, the lies that our brain tells us so that we can be addicted to certain feelings. So we repeat certain cycles and emotions over and over and over again. It's crazy. Anyway, I've been busy. So, Joe, what you been doing today?
None.
Nothing.
None really. I was playing fireman a while ago.
You was playing what?
I'm just no. Hey, I'll be honest. I was playing fireman with my fireman hat. No, um, honestly, I haven't been doing a whole lot today. And I didn't stop doing anything. I just don't think I got much accomplished.
Mm.
I was talking to somebody about a product or something, but that was a little while. That was about 30 minutes worth of stuff. And then, man, I don't know. I haven't really checked on any crypto news. I got the market pulled up here. Hold on. We got Bitcoin over there it's at 65.11, so that's pretty good.
What's the
We've
volume?
got Tron is at 22 cents volume. Bitcoin's volume or overall volume? Bitcoin
Bitcoin
volume is 3 billion. 3.8 though. 3,050,000.
headed towards
So
4 again.
it's
Okay.
low. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Everything's just it's headed towards 4. Man, everything's just hanging out right now until this back thing happens. I think because I really think soon as backed opens up, then we got Fidelity Investments and backed, and that's just going to open up a whole big thing because that puts it where the stock exchange, because it's ICE owns backed and the New York Stock Exchange, and it's coming out early November, right, very beginning of November, and so when that happens, Bitcoin can go into 401k plans and things like that, and they're using all the regulations that are put on the New York Stock Exchange, so it's more it's going to seem more regulated than it actually even is. You know what I mean? So it's going to seem that safe to big money investment. So I don't know. That's what I'm thinking there. I could be wrong though. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I think. You know.
Hmm.
What do you
I
think,
like
Chris?
what you think. I think you think good
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. I
No,
like tater tots. That's what I think.
no. Johnny ate all the tater tots.
Oh
Damn,
God,
Johnny.
it's y'all.
Little
It's a
Johnny.
personal joke. I
Don't tell some little
apologize.
Johnny jokes.
hmm So anyway,
Them damn tater tots.
I like tater tots. So here we go. So
I like that. Tater tots.
the nerve of some people's children. Why not, right? So I'm just going to drop this on y'all and let it kind of marinate in your head for a few minutes. But I know that
Mm.
Joe told everybody yesterday that I had an emergency, and I really did have an extreme emergency. It was one of those life emergencies, and I was actually talking to somebody, and they said to me, "Well, you chose to participate in that," and I said, "No, you did not just say that to me." And then later in the evening, as
Yeah,
I was
that's not
closing my
really.
eyes, I was closing my eyes, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, at 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 the heart of it, yeah, I did choose in some ways to participate. But here's what happened, y'all. A fellow, not a, that's the wrong word. Um, sorry, a a friend that just so happens to be a state patrol officer was doing a routine traffic stop at 12:31 a.m. The morning before yesterday, or yesterday morning, and for no apparent reason, the person that he stopped, just when he approached the vehicle, just opened fire, shot him in the head, and then shot him two more times, then ran over him. And this is not just a state trooper, right? Like, we live in a very small town. I have more Facebook population than we have here in the town, and everybody knew this guy. Everybody knew him as the helper. Like, he was the guy that would give you a good deal on your pressure washing. He was the guy that would cut the elderly people a deal on cutting their lawns because he knew they really couldn't afford it. He was also a state patrol officer, and he did a lot of volunteer stuff at the schools and stuff for career day and things like that. And the kids loved him, and he would take pictures with them and shake their hands and all kinds of stuff. And this guy was really, really loved in our community. So for this to happen, it was extremely tragic. And so the title today is "The Nerve of Some People's Children," and you have to wonder, what goes through people's heads. Like, you just want to ask. You just want to ask the person that did something like this, what were you thinking? What went through your head before you actually pulled that trigger? We'll never get the opportunity to know the answer to that. Fortunately, Jeff and Joey, our good buddy, decided that they were going to put in a surveillance system, and a lot of details were brought to the light because the surveillance system caught what happened, in conjunction with what happened, on the camera from the car, the actual police car. So why did I tell you that? Well, I told you that because sometimes, although we live a very virtual world, and although we do a lot of business online, and although we seem to know one another intimately online, we still have lives in our communities. And whether you choose to participate in those or not, lives still go on. Things still happen. So, yes, I did choose to participate yesterday. Our entire town population turned out and lined the streets of, 100 and something emergency vehicles as they went by, taking his body to the uh, to the mortuary. So, there was a lot of stuff that happened yesterday. There was a lot of people that needed consoling. There was people that needed you to reach out and just touch their shoulder and say, it doesn't make sense, but it's going to be all right. Now, what is all right? That looks different to everybody, right? This guy left behind a wife. He left behind a 12-year-old daughter, a 6-year-old son. You know, at the end of the day, y'all, um, they no longer have a dad. She no longer has a husband. You know, so stopping our town, being there for the community. You know, my buddy Joey's store is it's an old fixture. It's over 100-year-old store, and it's an old fixture, and all of the community people and the farmers and stuff go there 2 or 3 times a day. That store had to be open. That store had to be there for the people to sit on the bench and cry, for them to remember Kevin, for them to share their stories. And in a lot of ways, it was probably a big day of healing for a lot of people. So I say that I participated because that's what people do. You know, Lord knows I would hope that people would do the same for me if something tragic like that happened. But at the end of the day, who knows what people are going to do? You know, all I know is that today I have played a massive catch-up game, um, and that's okay. That is okay. We had the fair on Saturday and Sunday. I was unable to attend my class on Sunday, so that was bothering me. That all that work had stacked up, and I didn't get my homework and stuff done, and da 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 da. So today I dedicated the entire day to getting caught up, and I feel much better now. I share that with you because I don't want anybody to think that Joe and I are superhuman. Okay? We get behind too. We get stacks on our desk. We miss return phone calls and emails, and it just happens because we all have lives and we all get busy. So what I'm telling you is, don't beat yourself up when these things happen, because you can't help it. Okay? It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be, and you just have to accept it and live. Okay? That's really what it's about, is just accepting and living. So Joe, I didn't get an opportunity to catch your show yesterday. What did you talk about, brother?
I don't remember. Um,
You don't remember?
oh, I talked about oh, I talked about no, I do with this whole back thing happening. All the big money is going to get into Bitcoin all of a sudden. If you don't have it right now, you're not going to have it in 6 months. I'm going to make that statement. You won't have it. You won't be able to get it. There won't be any available. Everything will be purchased or ready to be purchased. As soon as this goes into 401k plans, like it's getting ready to, and all that kind of stuff, it's you're not going to have it. For me, I look at that like, because we know how I feel about Bitcoin. I don't like Bitcoin being controlling everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not fair. You know what I mean? Not when there's that big of a difference. You know what I mean? And I think it drives fear, because anytime it goes down, everything else drops. You know what I mean? And just because Bitcoin goes down doesn't mean Tron's not amazing. I talk a lot about Tron. I know. I wonder why I talk so much about Tron.
I wonder.
You know what I mean? I have no clue. No clue. It's not because they pay me. It's because I pay them. And I'm like, hey, come on. No, but, but kind of like that. But it's, this is where it gets really dangerous, is what I was talking about. Because, okay, if you take Bitcoin and they use Bitcoin like they use mortgage securities, which they can real simply, you know what I mean? And then when they start loaning Bitcoin for real loans, okay, for things, now, who knows? You know what I mean? It's kind of, that's where the bubble thing comes in, and it's scary. You know what I mean? Because it would be something that once you get rid of the fiat currency, if fiat currency goes and then there's nothing to back up at all, it just drops out. I mean, it's really the same thing if fiat dropped out. But it's interesting. You know what I mean? It could go real bad. I mean, it could destroy everything. You know what I mean? The entire globe, pretty much, except for the farmer that's got a cow and a water well and some chickens and some beans growing or whatever. A farmer. You know what I mean? It really could. All the technology could revert us back to the Dark Ages in a way. But that's kind of what I went over, but not quite that bad. I think I just said it worse now. Sorry. But I wasn't trying to scare anybody. It's just, I think it's our job to keep everybody aware of everything. Do I think that's going to happen? I really hope not. But the one thing you can count on people is to be greedy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if there's a bad decision to be made, there's a good chance it's going to be made, And that's where I was kind of going with that. And guys, I didn't hear that anywhere else. That's me and my thoughts. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing really validating that is, do you need my IQ?
You and your IQ?
No, I'm joking. I'm not a financial advisor. You know
that would be Joe Q.
I'm not a financial. Yeah. IQ. Yeah. Yeah, Joe Q. Yeah.
Joe Q.
But hey, if my name was Bar and my middle name was B, it'd be Bar BQ. That's a rib tickler. Get it? Sorry.
I swear, boy, you don't ever
everything's
stop.
Everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, America. Trust me. Trust me. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. It's just no.
I don't know about that trust thing.
You know what I mean? But be aware of what could happen. You know what I mean? And we are in this thing. Oh yeah, I don't know about trust me, but you might though. I don't know. Are you not allowed to say trust me? Is that?
Yeah, sure you can.
That's probably one of them words you're not supposed to say, huh? Trust me, believe me, I'm not lying to you. Whatever. Yeah. I didn't just make this up this morning in the shower.
Yes, you did.
Yesterday.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm just trying to spread fear so I can, because I want Tron to grow. I'm just kidding. Hey, there is a big deal going on though with Bitcoin Cash, and this is serious. Bitcoin Cash is forking, doing a hard fork, and it's because the two big miners of it, it's what Bitcoin Cash ABC and Bitcoin Cash VeChain, I think, or something like that, or something like that. But it's not VeChain, I don't think. It's not VeChain, not VET, But they're fighting because one of them wants to move up to 128 bit or 28 megabyte blocks.
Right, 28
and
megabyte.
The other one doesn't. It's not. And one of them wants to go like revert back to more like Bitcoin, like original Bitcoin.
Right.
And so there's going to be a hard fork. Now, I don't know how that's going to work out though, because they're going to fight over the name and everything else. You know what I mean? Because they're both Bitcoin Cash and they're both the big dog. I mean, it's two big dogs fighting. I mean, you got two Rottweilers fighting, and you don't know which one's going to win on this one. And so
I guess whoever comes up for air first wins.
Pretty much. I mean, whoever gets the paperwork filed. And I would think whichever one, I mean, that's kind of just it. And that's another thing I kind of want to talk about. I like the idea of Bitcoin being Bitcoin Cash. I like that name as opposed to just regular Bitcoin for the simple fact that it explains what it is. You know what I mean? When we're trying to tell people things like, hey, it's Bitcoin. They're like, what's that? Or, oh, okay, it's some weird computer thing or whatever. You know what I mean? But if you go Bitcoin Cash, they go, oh, it's money? You know what I mean? But I was just thinking about that earlier. I think I was thinking about that in the shower, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
But, so, do your research, though, and check into that and do a little more reading than I did on the one thing of a jigger, and on the Bitcoin Cash situation, because, I mean, you could make a lot of money on it, or who knows what's going to happen. I really don't know, because it's in the top 4, isn't it? So, anyways, go ahead. What you got, Chris?
Well, on the same line, I would say that I've heard the same thing, Joe, or I've experienced. Let me rephrase that. I've experienced the same thing when talking to new folks or people that are less educated in the crypto world. When you say Bitcoin, they don't really get it. And you say Bitcoin Cash, and they immediately think money. So maybe Bitcoin should have been named Bitcoin Cash from the start. Who knows?
Right.
That being said, it wasn't. So we got what
Right.
we got, right? Um,
Right.
you know, I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I did hear some. I did hear some news, or was looking at some news. I don't know what's going on out there. I apologize. Something's going on in and out of my house. But anyway, I did hear some news about possibly Binance and the IRS doing a little something
Yeah.
something. And what I would say about that is I don't have the answer. I don't know if it's gospel. What I would what I would lend what I would lend to the conversation would be this. Um, it's going to happen eventually. Just saying. It's going to happen eventually. Now, some of us have been around long enough to remember, another exchange. We won't say their name. We've said it a million times on our show before. Another exchange handing over certain documents to the IRS and government, etc. Um, and they didn't take the whole office. They just took XYZ
14,000.
and and when they just took XYZ, that was a big it was a big flashing light to me, because if they were really interested in getting quote unquote lost tax dollars, end quote, um, they would have took the entire thing. What they were really
Right.
interested in was trying to figure out the technology and the movement of people, and how to get in this thing. Okay? Now, is someone going to have, and listen to me carefully, because I'm not going to give you a one way or the other opinion here. You're going to have to draw your own conclusion. But is someone going to have a magic number that the IRS, the government, another country, another nation, whatever, is going to throw out there, and it's going to be somebody's magic number? Well, this is what I know. Okay, this is what I know in the depths of my soul, without a shadow of a doubt. It has never changed. It's always been the same in my 49 years. Everybody has a number for everything. Everybody has a number for everything. I can't tell you how many times I've said personally, that's not for sale, and somebody come along and offer me stupid money for whatever it was, and I say, you like it more than I do, bye bye, right? So I get and I understand the movement behind crypto, specifically Bitcoin, what it was founded on, what the principles were. I get all that. We're 10 years down the road. I believe, and this is Chris's personal opinion. So again, no advisors, no directors and advisors here. But I believe that because it's been around for 10 years, it's proven that it has wherewithal, okay, and that it's solid. And I also believe that because of that, what's going to happen, who knows when, where, how, or who, but it's going to happen that somebody's going to throw out a ridiculous number out there, and they're going to get what they want. Now, that being said, what is a ridiculous number? And you got to remember this: if they exchanged their knowledge for this big number, right? How long will whatever they exchange it for be any good? See? Because, see, I think further than just the transaction, right? So I'm the guy that says, I've got the secret of Bitcoin, and I've got it nice and neat, all tied up in a bow, and I've hidden it somewhere in the world. And Joe comes along and says, Chris, I got to have that. I just need to know. I need the blueprint. Give it to me. And I say, it's not for sale. And Joe throws out a wicked stupid number.
Crazy.
Crazy. Crazy money. And I jump out there and I say, okay, fine. You know, here it is, Joe. and I sell it, okay, I'm the person that before I sell it, I'm thinking, okay, how long is this fiat currency going to be good? What do I need to turn it into? Do I need to buy diamonds? Do I need to buy rubies? Do I need to go get gold? Do I need to go to a foreign country or another nation and buy up every bit of their currency? What do I need to do to keep Chris on top, right? Most people aren't like that. Most people will see that maybe it's $1 trillion. We'll just say it's $1 trillion, right? Maybe they'll just see that $1 trillion. They say, I am good to go. I am fit. Nobody can touch me, right? Wrong. Because all they got to do is devalue the money. If they've got $1 trillion to throw at you to make you buy something, they got enough money to make that money not worth anything. So that's just my 2 cents for what it's worth.
Right. Right. Well, it's the thing is okay. Yeah, gotcha. And kind of going along with all that is the idea of it just being me and you, peer to peer. You know, that's the idea. You know, but once the large institutions get into this, which they have, but everybody wanted them to, so they needed that for the stability. And I was actually watching something yesterday, as late last night, and what this person was saying was that as Bitcoin dramatically increases in value, when it gets to millions of dollars a coin or whatever, at that point it will be completely stable because it will have absolute value because so much would be lost if it was to decrease.
And the big boys ain't going to lose money.
And the problem with that, though, is that's not true because it's still based on the dollar. As long as it's based on the USD and not just Bitcoin. See, Bitcoin's set up to be based on Bitcoin. It can assign its own value. It just had to be put to a dollar value so it made sense to everybody else. You know what I mean? Like instead of going, well, that's $1 worth of Bitcoin. No, that's 0.00000 Satoshi, or however many, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And until there's a mind shift there, which America, we're not good at mind shifts, guys. We're still in the imperial system, and there's 2 nations. Who is it? It's us and somebody else. You know what I mean? Everybody else is doing metrics. Everybody else is doing math with 10. We do math with 12. That's all there is to it. It's a hell of a lot harder, but it's true. You know what I mean? We're on the imperial system, and we beat them twice. You know what I mean? There was a Revolutionary War. Then they came back and burnt the White House down. We beat them then, too. I'm talking about the British. You know, damn cake eaters. Anyways. But
the British are coming. The British are coming.
What I'm saying is, yeah, the British, exactly. No, I mean, I don't mean, you know what I mean? But I don't know. That's where you kind of get into the thing. You're like, well, I don't know. And it rolls you back into that too big to fail again thing, you know,
Yes.
And you go, well, okay. And I'll be honest with you, man, I can definitely see the government, and I'm not an anti-government person at all. I'm really not. You know what I mean? I see both sides of the story, and that's it. And I just try not to have too much opinion about any of it because I just don't. You know what I mean? I'm just like, whatever. It's like, I see why you want to screw everybody to make more money. But I don't know why you don't want people to screw other people because that's bad. I get both sides. I mean, you know, so it's like, well, I don't know. Let's hang out in the middle somewhere and just be okay. Just let me be okay. You know what I mean? You know, and I hate to say that, but that's just it, you know? But could I see them letting something happen just so they can crush it? Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to think. Look at this. We've spent trillions of dollars on a war on drugs, and now we're legalizing them. Not for medical purpose, for the hell of it. Going, oh, no, go ahead and smoke a joint. It's cool. You know, and you're like, well, you know, and it's not that I think that's a big deal, okay? But like me, I look at that from a parental standpoint. How do I tell my kids not to do drugs when the president said it's okay? You know what I mean? And that's the problem that people have with these things, you know, because these they're
Well,
people
you
and they're
can do.
held to
Hey,
too
Joe.
much.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah,
Hey, Joe.
yeah.
Let me
I,
jump in there for a second. You can do like I do. I tell everybody when they come through my door, this here be Chris Hank's house, okay? And I set the rules up here. I don't give a two what anybody else
that's
does
right.
or says, or what other parents let
Yeah,
you do or don't do, or what the president says you can or cannot do. I said no.
right, right. I mean, and the thing is for me being as I am, you know what I mean? I live a very conservative life. I'm not saying I'm a super conservative person, but I mean, I'm just being Southern by nature. You're pretty damn conservative. You know what I mean? That's just how
Mm-hmm.
things are. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, yep, yeah. Everybody just,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like do whatever you want to do. You just don't got to yell from the rooftop about everything. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And that's just, and any Southern family has a big area rug in the living room, and it's about 10 foot off the ground because everything you just sweep it right under there and move on by. Would you like some iced tea, honey? Of course you would.
Is it sweet tea today or what is it? Lemonade?
Of course it's sweet
Yes.
tea. Of course it's sweet tea. And it may be sweet
Always
sun
sweet
tea.
tea.
You just, in
That's
the
right.
summertime.
You know,
But
Joe's right.
you know,
We have an ability in the South. Anybody that considers themselves living in a Southern environment, they have an ability to just kind of say, eh, it's okay, darling. Come sit and rock on this
yeah,
front porch and we'll drink tea together. You know? And
yeah,
and I'm not
yeah.
saying that's good or bad. Um, what I'm saying is, if whatever government, let's put it that way, if whatever government we had would take a little bit more of that approach about sitting on the front porch in a rocking chair, drinking sweet tea, listening to stories, we might learn a little something. And, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that the South is right and the North is wrong or the West or the East or anybody else. What I'm saying is there's a lot of learning that goes on those porches in those rocking chairs drinking sweet tea. And, you know, um, it's invaluable education. It's invaluable education. You can't pay for it because the people that are talking about the stories that they're talking about, they lived through that stuff. Okay? They didn't read about it or write about it or create it. They lived through it. Okay? And, you know, there's something to be said about living through things and what you can pass on if people are willing to listen and learn. That's the key. If people are willing to listen and learn. Most people are not. Most people are of the opinion of, well, if I'd have lived back then, I'd have done this and this and this and changed that and done this. And you know what? That's easy to say when you're on this side of the fence. But let's put this into
Exactly.
real world example. Okay? You've got a billionaire sitting here on the right, and you've got a homeless man sitting here on the left. Now, what do you think the billionaire can tell you about being homeless, living on the streets, and having to make it minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, week to week? He ain't going to be able to tell you nothing about that. Now, he could tell you his opinion. He could tell you how he thinks he might make it better should he be in that situation. He can tell you how, you could go to all the finest country clubs and probably eat like a king off what they throw out the back door. No, I'm picking here, y'all. What I'm saying is he can't give you that first hand information. Now, now, on the other hand, that homeless man could have been a billionaire. You don't know. He might know that man's story. You have no idea where that guy came from and what circumstance put him where he is. And so,
True.
the problem that I have with most people is that they look at someone who's down on their luck and they automatically elevate themselves to 10 times better than that person. Well, I got news for you.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna break it down real for you today, because yesterday I saw more than I ever wanted to see, and I shed more tears than I wanted to shed, and I had to explain more things than I wanted to explain to kids 18 and under. Okay, but at the end of the day, what I'm going to tell you is we all get up every morning just like each other. Now, it could be that some of y'all are nude. Some of y'all have pajamas on. Some people sleep in their basketball shorts. I don't care what you got on. You still get up if you're lucky enough to open your eyes. You get up every morning, whether it's off the ground, a park bench, or a Tempur-Pedic mattress. You still get up. When you get up, you do one thing. You consciously decide that you're going to live today. That you're going to live today. Why does that make any difference? Well, it makes a huge difference, because living is a choice. And as humans, we have the opportunity to make that choice. Other animals, they don't know that they are choosing to live the day. They're not choosing to live the day. What they're doing is surviving the day. And there's a big difference. Okay? So we're all the same. We're all the same. We're all people. We all have skin. Okay? We all have eyes. We all have nose. All have ears. Okay? Some of us have more hair than others, Joe. But we're all people, and we should all be treated the same way and all given an equal voice. Okay? Don't judge
True.
somebody or something just because of the color of their skin, or the house they live in, or the car they drive, or the ability to buy dinner or not buy dinner. Okay? Because some of the best people I ever met in my entire life were down on their luck. And they just needed not a hand out, but a hand up. And Joe and I talk about that all the time. Okay? And you
Where's
got to be able. I'm sorry. What's that?
I know I was going, yeah, but my camera, you know how the thing confuses me.
So,
Sorry.
we talk about that hand up all the time. And, I was talking with somebody a day or two ago, and I was going to talk about this on the live, and then we had Kevin get shot, and everything went to hell in a handbasket. So I'm now remembering things that I wanted to talk about 2 days ago. And I was talking to somebody, and they brought it to my attention, and they said, it looks like everybody's going in different directions. It looks like there's no unity. It looks like there's no harmony. It looks like. This is what I'm going to say about it looks like. Okay? Don't matter what it looks like. Know what it is. There is a difference. Now, yes, I agree with that person that I was talking to. There are a lot of people that it appears, after careful consideration and studying, that some people are, not diversifying, not adding another tool to their toolbox, but actually, changing the whole picture of the tools that they need, and that's okay. Okay, I don't harbor any hard
Yeah.
feelings towards anybody for doing that. You know what do I tell you guys all the time? Your number one business, your number one business is your family. That's number one. Number one is your family. Everything else that we teach and can help with or get in on, that is icing on the cake, and it's only meant to help you take care of your number one purpose, which is your family. And so, maybe for them, they need to move on. Maybe they need something else. Maybe they've lost their love for whatever it is that you see them doing or not doing. And that's okay. Why is it okay? Because we all have the right to make choices. And, to me, and this is just me, but, and I stand by this. I will fight and holler, kick and scream defending this. But to me, the more tools I have in my toolbox, the better I can do my job. And my job is to help other people. My family is first. Second is help other people help their families. I can't do that if I only have a hammer. I can't do that if I only have screws and no screwdriver. Okay, it's just the nature of the beast. Um, I don't
Imagine if you
agree.
could.
There you go. I don't agree with people that look at other people and say, well, this, that, and the other. I also don't agree with people that don't respect relationships. Okay? Relationships are hard to create. Okay? No, no, that's not true. Relationships are easy to create, they're hard to keep. Okay? Because
Yeah,
invariably,
maintain.
just like Joe and I, okay, we don't see eye to eye on every single thing. We're a lot alike. We think similarly.
We
We
don't.
have a lot in common. But at the crossroads, at some point, he sees something one way, I see something another. We agree to disagree. We go on. I'm not going to not like Joe and throw away 9 months, a year friendship over something that we disagreed on. That's stupid. Okay,
Right.
and you can't fix
Yeah,
stupid, not even
exactly.
with duct tape. But Joe, we have
Or
the
staple.
we have the. I'm sorry. Yep. We have the
I said,
we
or a
have
staple gun.
the beautiful ability to love other people where they're at, and to offer
Yeah.
those hands up, to listen to their
Hmm.
woes. You know,
Yeah.
everybody has a story. Do you know what their story is? Do you? I mean, seriously,
Some
you
people,
know,
not everybody.
Joe and I Joe and I went through a training recently with another tool that we're working with, and what we actually did was something that I wish every company in the world would do. And from that day forward, anybody that I do business with in any business, I will do this with because it's important. I used to do it years and years ago, and everybody got away from it. Everybody said it wasn't important. Everybody said it was a waste of time, and sometimes you hear that stuff and it affects your psyche. I believe the opposite. I've always believed the opposite, and it's called a strategy meeting. And I
Yeah.
learned, and I know Joe. I was just sitting in on this meeting. I was not running it. I had nothing to do with it, but I learned more about Joe and Joe's story, and and
Oh, really?
and that was invaluable. That was invaluable. Why was it invaluable? Because I can't effectively help Joe as my business partner if I don't know where he's standing now. It makes no difference where he wants to go. We can get there. Okay? Where he's standing now
Hmm.
is a temporary situation. All right? So
Right.
remember when you're talking to people, it's easy for us to look up after, especially when we've been like this, head down, working, 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 and we look up and it's like, gee, where did everybody go? What's going on? It's easy to make assumptions. It's easy to point the finger. It's easy to say, oh, well, they didn't have as much conviction, love, faith, and trust as I do in this. You don't know what's going on in their story. Their story changed, okay? Their story changed. And one thing that I can promise you in this world from now till the day you leave here is change is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. There's nothing you
Yeah.
can do to stop it. Change is gonna happen. And if you're not changing, you're not growing. Okay? And I didn't change for a long time. I really didn't. I got stale and stagnant and set my ways, and I was old and contrary, and I didn't want nobody telling me what to do. But then I realized, hey, the world is changing, things are changing, my life is changing, but I'm not. I got to catch up. So maybe, that's what happened to
Right.
some of those folks. Maybe they just looked up and said, oh my God, I got to catch up with myself, right? Because self is way up there and you're back here. Okay? So I hope that made some sense,
Good.
Joe. I kind of went down a hole. I apologize.
That's good. Yeah, it made a lot of sense. I have a 2 o'clock. I forgot to tell you that.
Sweet.
I'm sorry. And I just remembered because I just saw Gloria walk out, and I was like, "What's she doing dressed?" And I was like, "Oh." So,
Whoops.
I love you guys, but I gotta get out of here.
Bye, Joe.
Love you, Chris. Have a great day, guys. Hey, don't
Love
let me
you.
scare you into anything. If I scare you into anything, let me scare you into doing research on stuff and forming an opinion. Okay?
Mhm.
The sky's not falling. The sky's not gonna fall. But take all that and go get that knowledge. You know what I mean? And go,
Mhm.
okay, so you can make that decision on your own. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because we don't want fear to drive our lives, but sometimes it can be one hell of a motivator. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so you want to kick it out, make it a positive thing, turn that into something positive by getting more education, more information. Information is
Yep.
education. Remember that, everybody. Okay, love you. Ooh,
Absolutely.
that's a good one.
That's a good one, Joe.
I'm glad this is being recorded. See y'all later. Love you. Sorry. Later, Chris.
Bye,
Sorry.
buddy.
I'll
Have
get with you later.
fun. Knock it out of the park, buddy.
Bye.
Love
I'm going to
you.
log out of this. I will.
That's all right.
Love you too, babe.
All right. So, with that being said, um, like Joe said, we're not here to scare anybody into anything. That's not what our show is about. Our show is about expressing ourselves, getting to know other people, and helping others. We sincerely want to help others. That's really what we're about. That's who we are. That's where we want to go. Okay, and so I'm going to say that if you pass this along to anybody that you care about, that you love, you're in business with or not in business with, and they get it, it's life changing. When you get something, it is definitely life changing, and I am very happy to say that my life has changed for the better over the course of the last 2 years. Now, there's another elephant in the room, and since this is the time of our show when we do KGX updates, I'm going to address that elephant right here and right now on my live show. In case anyone is wondering where I stand, it will be perfectly crystal clear. Um, I am a KGX guy. Okay, it's on my shirts. I wear these shirts most of the time. Someone made the comment, Chris, you hadn't wore a KGX shirt in a while. And I went back and looked, and they were right. But what was happening was I was realizing, if you will, that I was running late, and I just jumped on and didn't think about my attire or my appearance. Oftentimes, I don't even realize what I look like until I turn the camera on to go live. So I am KGX. When I say I am KGX, I mean I am KGX, okay? As if it were my business, if it were my baby, because it is. And I've been here since day one, since conception, and I plan to be here for as long as they will have me. Now, that being said, there's some things happening out there in the field, and I have received a lot of emails and a lot of messages over the course of the last 3 or 4 days from a lot of people. Know this, okay? We cannot control what other people do, say, or uh, deflect onto us by default. Um, I know that a lot of people aren't happy. I know that people are confused. I know that people's people are being talked to. What I can say about that is this is the thing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't learn anything else in the world from Chris, please write this down and take it with you. Your relationships are just that. They're yours. So if you have a fear, if you have a thought that somebody might be fishing in your pond, then it's up to you to hold a pond meeting or go to each person individually and talk to them on a level that you and them connect so that they know where you are and what you are expecting, and you know where they are and what they are expecting. And at the end of the day, honesty is the best medicine. Okay? Now, honesty hurts. A lot of times, honesty hurts, but you can grow from that pain. and you can become a better person, a better leader, a better business owner, a better person just in general. So, with that being said, um, know that it's going to be okay. In every business that I've ever been in, there's always been a little bit of a shakeup or a little bit of what's going on. Um, Here's what I'll say about that. Okay, if you don't want to hear it, turn it off. If you don't want to hear it, turn it off. And you know, it's going to be okay. We will all get through everything that we're going through, business wise, personally, etc. Okay. Now, what I want to say is a good leader, a good foundation for any business is touching your people periodically. Call it, I don't know, coffee talk, call it, once a week huddle, call it, spring training, call it whatever you need to call it in order to get your mind and get your people where you want them to be. Okay. And maybe I'm just saying this because it's happened to me. I'm putting both hands up. Maybe some of your people have outgrown you, or you've outgrown them, or you can no longer help them where they're at. Like maybe you're giving and giving and giving, and they're not reciprocating. They're not doing their part. They're not where they need to be to help you, right? To take them to the next level. It takes both persons, okay? And I said persons on purpose. It takes both persons because as people, we're individuals, and we have to be able to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. It may not be comfortable. They may not even fit very well. But if we can put ourselves in other people's shoes and we can love them where they're at, then there's a good chance we'll be able to help them in whatever it is that they need our help with. Okay? Because I believe, and this is the ending note to this today, but I believe that each and every one of us come into each other's lives, into each other's worlds for a reason. We have a message. We're just carrying that message. Okay. I heard somebody say in the last couple of days, we don't teach anybody anything. We put the information out, and it's up to them to receive. Okay. So I love that. I absolutely love that. I'm gonna carry that with me for a long time because it is very true. You know, it's the same thing as saying you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, it's basically the same thing. We don't teach people anything. We deliver messages. We have conversations. If they pick up on things and they improve themselves, it's because they did the work. Okay? We can want it for other people worse than they want it for themselves. And that puts us in a dark place. Don't do that to yourself. Okay? You're better than that. You don't deserve that. You need to be able to flourish. So, my words to you are don't beat people over the head with education. Have conversation and help them where they're at. We love you guys. I really missed you guys yesterday. My heart was with you. My mind was with you guys. But I'm going to be honest. There's no way I could have got on here and held my composure and been what everybody expects me to be or needs me to be or wants me to be. I couldn't have been that person, which is the best version of myself. So therefore, I elected to stay in the real world yesterday and let Joe handle things. That is the beauty of having a partnership. It doesn't always work out in a manner to where things work out well. Luckily for Joe and I, most of our stuff is very easy for us to put things together and carry people to the next level. So with that being said, if you're in KGX, please keep an eye on your blog. There are things happening. Watch your email. My understanding is there's emails coming. Talk to the right people, listen to the right people, and just make a decision. Make a decision. What's right for you and your family? Okay. What's right for you and your number one business, your family. That's what you have to do. You have to live with it. You have to sleep with it. You have to eat with it, drink with it, walk with it, talk with it. You have to do everything in your life with it. So if it's not right, it's going to be there like a thorn sticking you in your side all the time. So I love you guys. Joe loves you guys. We thank you guys for hopping on here every day like you do. We still don't have this thing perfect. It's still not notifying people and stuff. And I've done everything that I know to do. So if anybody knows how to use Just Broadcaster and connect it to their YouTube in a better way than we're using it, I am all ears. I'm not the expert at this. I'm just trying to use a tool. So if anybody has any suggestions and or ideas or knowledge, I'm all ears. Love you guys. See you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is what? Friday. Now, to a lot of people, that's the end of the week. To those of us who work for ourselves, own our own business, it's another day to make some money. Love you guys. See you soon. Everybody take care of themselves.